What's your philosophy on life skills, and do you have any hacks to
Oh,
pass those on to our
I'm
kids?
so glad you asked. My goodness, because so there's a homeschool pioneer. His name was Raymond Moore, and him and his wife had a philosophy that education should be sort of like a coalition of work and service and study. So they didn't think that education should just be all brain work. And I in my peaceful press work wholeheartedly agree, because so much of reading comprehension and motor development comes for our children when they engage in practical life skills. So in my homeschool curriculum, we actually have a cookbook. We have children do a recipe every week. We have them do things even like dusting furniture or folding clothes. Those develop valuable motor skills in children, but also it helps them live a civilized life someday. Like, do you want your children to have to pay for every other service they get and not really be able to create any kind of a home? Or do you want them to be able to know how to hammer a hammer, or know how to, maybe repair something, or some mechanics, or even grow flowers just for the beauty, for the sake of beauty? And so those are actually weekly lesson plans in my literature based homeschool resources, because they are so important for a whole and balanced life.
I love that. Can you give, I know my audience in particular, because I run the Life Skills Now summer camp, is super into life skills, creating independent kids. What like practical tip can you sneak something out of your curriculum? Like if someone wants to teach folding laundry or making sourdough, like how do you get the kids on board? Where do you start, Jennifer?
I mean, I think kids are always on board. Like,
Oh,
especially, my biggest tip really is just start them young, because when kids are young, it's all play to them. And so that, like, I would give, when I was baking bread, I would give my children a little bit of their own dough to knead, and they would get to shape their own little loaf and put it on the pan. Or if I was baking sugar cookies, I would let them help cut them out, or let them help roll them out, and definitely help decorate. If we were, if we were doing some nature study, or arranging flowers, or planting, even if I was planting the garden, I would give them seeds to plant, or give them their own little pot to plant in. As much as possible and as early as possible, I would include my children in the work. And obviously, if you want them to do work with quality and detail, you're going to have to teach that and inspect that, and that might take some time, but the investment is worth it.